We're live. We are live. Another wonderful Wednesday. It is Akunna, and today is We Out Here Wednesday, WOHM Wednesday, and I'm so excited for today's edition. We are going to be speaking with Chelsea, who is a Portland-based stylist. And yes, I'll tell a little bit more when she hops on of how I first came in contact with her work, but it's been great. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday. It's beautiful here in New York. It's cold, but the sun is out. And usually when that happens, what I do is, like when I'm driving in my car, I turn the heat on and I just pretend that the sun is the source of the warmth. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we're going to give Chelsea some time to hop on. Again, hope everybody's doing well. Wednesday. I don't know if people have a favorite day of the week. I like Wednesday because it's right in the middle. Not like when it first starts out. Most people don't like Mondays because it's like the abrupt start, but I think of it as a new start. Fresh slate. So I usually like Mondays. Let's see. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Right. With the Wednesdays, right? They said same. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. It is WOHM Wednesday, and I'm going to be speaking with Chelsea today. This is an interview with the stylist. Tomorrow is the thesis. So if you are in the Portland area, make sure you pull up to Kelly's Olympian. Wonderful lineup. Thank you. Happy Wednesday to you as well. All right. I'm going to bring Chelsea on. And then I wanted to save my story of how I came in contact with her work from there. Hey, Chelsea.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
It's going well. I'm doing really well. Wow, you have like a nice glow going on right
now.
Yeah.
It might be a little sweat.
It's the what?
A little sweat.
You know, I used to say I don't sweat, I glisten. Like, it's not even sweat. It sounds a little heavy, but glisten, that's what it looks like. So it's glistening. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today and to chat with me and talk to our audience, answer any questions. I wanted to save the story of how I first came in contact with you for when you got on here, because it was just like, it was the timing was very interesting. So I was in Portland in January, and we had the thesis show. And I was like, I thought I was going to be in Portland for like a long time, and I was a little bit afraid because I didn't have a stylist out there, and I have locks, and I'm like, I need to figure out who's out here. And I start like going on Instagram and trying to look for hashtags and things of that nature. And that night at the show, Magic performed, and first of all, she did an amazing job, and she's like an amazing individual too. Her energy is on point, but she's the Pink Ranger. So she had her pink leather coat. She had her locks dyed pink, and they were just styled so beautifully. And I had to ask her after the show, like, who did your hair? Because I was just over here grieved that I didn't have a stylist here. And so she gave me your information, but I ended up leaving Portland before I could even reach out. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about your journey as a stylist and kind of how you came into that role. And I know that hair is not the only thing that you do. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about that style first, and maybe how you met her, how you met Magic, and that maybe something about that day.
Well, first of all, shout out to Magic because that is my girl. I love her. She is just a beautiful person. Um, I met her. She was one of my clients. I don't know how she found me on Instagram, probably, but she came into the salon. It's when I had a studio, and she came in, and she was just hella cool. And she's like, "Girl, can I eat?" I'm like, "Girl, yes, go ahead, eat." It was just cool. Like it was a natural click between both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And anything she asks me for, I'll come through for it. So she's like, I want to go pink. I'm like, girl, I don't, we can try. we try, you know, like I like to undersell my clients. I knew she could, but I like to undersell my clients. So when I come through for them, it's like, boom. But she's just great. And that whole day we spent like maybe 8 hours together doing her hair, and that whole day we was like going over her outfit and what she was going to perform. And I've already listened to a little bit of her music, so I'm like, all right, yeah, it's going to be a great show. And it was great seeing her up there performing. My hair was popping, she was popping, her outfit was popping, everything was just on point.
Right. That's so beautiful. I always think about like the behind the scenes before somebody gets on stage or gets to the final part, because I used to be a wedding planner. So like just seeing from the start and the whole process of how it goes, and how everybody from the person who made the dress to the baker of the cake to the person who does your hair and makeup, like you are an important part of the day and of the experience as a whole. So it's great to hear that you all had like a really good experience during that.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. Are you originally from Portland?
So I was born in Portland. I spent some time here. I really grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's
Oh.
where the accent come from, if you could hear it. But that's where I grew up from. That's where I consider home. Yeah, I'm from here. Kinda. I don't like to tell people that I'm from here. I tell people I'm from Baton Rouge because I think you could just tell that I'm a little bit different.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard it a little bit, and I actually went to school. I went to Grambling State University.
okay.
Right. So I spent some time in Louisiana, and it's always funny how sometimes it's like you have to hear, you don't have to, but when you hear a whole story of where somebody has been and spent time at, it's like, okay, you pick up on a little bit here and there.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's awesome. And how did you get into styling? And did you always have an interest for hair and for just beautifying people?
So I've always had an interest in like hair and beautifying myself. I've always been like doing my own hair, doing my own makeup and everything. I originally went to beauty school for makeup. I wanted to be a makeup artist, an esthetician, waxing and things like that. And then once I got into the school, I just kind of got consumed with everything else, and I saw me being interested in everything. So I said, you know, why not? And
Yeah.
I went for everything. I originally wanted to be a nurse. I went to school in Louisiana for a few years. I went to college in Louisiana for a couple of years before I moved back to Portland. And when I moved to Portland, that's when I realized I don't like bodily fluids. So
When you said that, you're like, I don't like.
I don't think that would have worked out for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hair is like, okay, let's try this since we ain't poking nobody.
Awesome. When you first started out, what was your like, did you have like a go-to style when you started doing other people's hair and such that you liked a lot? Because I've known people that like really like doing certain styles or lock styles. One of my old friends, they loved just lock styles. That was their favorite. So what about you? What would you say is your expertise that you love doing the absolute most?
So I love doing lock styles, but I have been gravitating more towards like curling hair,
Oh,
curling hair, getting like big beach wave curls. I got these curls. I got my hair curled a couple of days ago, and then I just started like adding more curls to them with flexi rides.
Mhm.
And I've just like big curly hair. I've just been kind of obsessed with the past couple of weeks. That's
Mhm.
like all my Instagram is full of is big tight curls, loose curls, beach waves, like, so yeah.
Yeah. And would you say that you usually will go through phases of where like something you like the most, like for example, maybe 3 years ago, was there something that you were really into as much as you're into the curls now?
3 years ago, let me see.
Mhm.
So 3 years ago, I think I was cutting hair. I was in a barbershop 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was cutting hair. I was like real dedicated to being like a real female barber. And I don't know,
Mm.
I just got turned off from that. I do get tired of things kind of quick. So like once I'm on to something, I'm on it. And then I just got tired of that when I was like, I don't know, maybe it was the clientele too as well, because you know, men can be a little.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Mhm, yeah.
That's nice though. Yeah, I always find it funny, especially I feel like a lot of people after 2020, they've just like changed completely since then. Like a lot of people, things that we liked back then are not really the same things that we're into now, and just like things changing and such. So I always think it's interesting to look back like maybe 3 years, 5 years ago at the things that we may have thought that we really, really wanted, just like the life progression is so interesting these days.
Yeah, because that's definitely true for me because I'm always evolving and I'm always like thinking of how can I be better than what I was before. I'm one of those people who I do not like doing the same thing as the year before.
Mm.
I'm not going to be doing the same thing as the year before. And
Right.
I don't like those type of like that type of energy around me. So I am going to be like always changing it because that's how I feel like life should be. You should be the
Mhm.
same thing forever.
Right. Yeah. And it's so funny. I was recently talking about that because I'm almost 30 years old. And with that, sometimes I'm like, no, I feel like I should know, like something should be my like supreme passion, because especially being around a lot of creative minds and a lot of artists and people who are kind of set in their craft. And I'm just like, there should be something, but I've learned to not force it, and that
Mhm.
it's about the journey as well and the pursuit of finding that as well. And that's just been a beautiful thing. Hello to everybody in the audience. This is We Out Here Wednesday. It's WOHM Wednesday, and I'm speaking with Chelsea, who is a Portland-based stylist. And we went from talking about styling to talking about styling lives.
Because I'm part therapist as well. So,
Tell me a little bit more about that.
well, you know, when people sit in your chair, you just start hearing their life stories and like what they've been through in the past or what they're going
Mhm.
through right now. And I'm definitely like a opening ear, a listening ear, but I am also going to like throw up my 2 cents, not necessarily my 2 cents, but encouraging words, because I don't want nobody to just leave my chair feeling like, oh, she just soaked up all my business.
Mm.
I I am going to like try to encourage you like, well, I hope some kind of positivity. You know, I can't think of anything right now, but it's usually based on the client because you
Mhm.
you get so much energy and you hear so many things, and it's like, well, I don't want you to like continue to think about this anymore. Let's think about something positive,
Mhm.
possibly a solution, because I am solution based. I like to think of solutions for
Oh,
people.
yeah. Here, it's a gift and a curse sometimes, because sometimes people don't want to hear it.
At all. And I feel like I'm good with sensing when somebody want me to shut up. So I'm good at like, okay, maybe I went a little too far,
Right.
but
Sometimes you gotta try and gauge it out.
it's hard to gauge because you want to be helpful and you want to seem like you're engaged in the conversation, and
Mhm.
that not seem like you are engaged in the conversation and that you care, because I do care because you're telling me your business, but then
Right.
I also want it to be something to take away from that.
Exactly. LBJ's Goat253 says, thank you for sharing this with us. They have to pop out, but they're glad they stopped in. Thank you so much.
Have a
Appreciate
good day at work.
And the video will be saved, so you can go back and watch if you would like to. But yes, just to off of what you were saying, I feel the same way, and just I've been learning to have discernment. Sometimes people don't feel comfortable saying when they're not comfortable with what you're saying, so you have to kind of, like you said, kind of try to pick up and be perceptive about that. And I really liked how you're talking about your experience on the other side, because like I said, it's all about the experience. When you sit down in a chair, sometimes I've gone places where the person who is giving me a beauty service isn't even really engaging with me or talking to me, or it's just like you can tell that they've had a long day or they just want me in and out. You know what I mean? Like, so it means a lot to have somebody that is willing to give the care and talk, and like you said, be willing to listen and give feedback as well, because like you said, a lot of energy is given, and sometimes it's not always like what would be a positive energy. It might be kind of draining.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do maybe to unwind after a long day of receiving all that energy and also giving out so much like physical energy and emotional energy with clients and such while you're doing these services?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be very real. If you come in at 6 o'clock, you one of my last few clients come in at 6 o'clock, I am gonna be tired, and I might not be as engaged as I would be at 9, 10 in the morning.
Right.
That has nothing to do with the person at all. It is just like a draining time. I don't want to make it seem like I'm just the perfect stylist and I'm here and I'm available. 6, 7 o'clock, I am gonna be tired. Okay. But I do take breaks in between my clients, whether it's 15 to 30 minutes, to try to like decompress, give me a moment. I go outside a lot because I really connect with nature, getting me some fresh air, getting a sip of water, a snack or something, getting a moment to kind of just sit, because I like to just sit sometimes and kind of just stare into space and just not do anything, because I feel like people don't have that opportunity. We always on our phones. I'm definitely always on my phone. And I feel like that moment where I just sit there and I stare into space and I do nothing, that's like the clearest moment of my days. So that's kind of something that I need to go, okay, you got 2, 3 more. Let's just go ahead and knock this out. Give your 100% best.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. And power through. Right. Completely, because a lot of jobs you don't really have to be engaged, but like this is all about the experience and your craft. So you have to be invested in what you're doing, but also invested in whatever emotion and feedback you're getting from the client at the same time. So I can only imagine, doing both at the same time.
And it's really hard for me because I am kind of an introvert, and the jobs before the hair industry I've had has been like warehouse and grocery store jobs where I don't have to be engaging as much as I do now. Now it's like I'm talking all day and I have to make these connections with people and go out and network and talk to people, and it's totally out of my comfort zone. And that's basically where I live, outside of my comfort zone, because I'm in the service industry. I have to be this way.
Right.
So those moments where it's like silence and I'm sitting there staring into space, I'm really like chilling. Like on the inside, I'm like.
Right. I always stress that we should get more time to just be instead of doing, like, I used to roll my eyes when people would be like, we're human beings, not human doings. But no, for real. Like, we don't need to be doing so much all the time. Our mind is in 10 places and our body's in a whole nother place. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right. Okay, Real 3 a.m. Got you. All love with you as well. Thanks for sharing. Again, hello everybody in the audience. It is WOHM Wednesday, and we are here with Chelsea, aka Beauty by Chels, and we're talking a little bit more now about stylist, being a stylist, and the balance between self-care and different things that you do to unwind. Now, Chelsea, I know that being a stylist is one thing that you do, but I know that you also have a candle making company, correct? Called Pretty Peacock?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Tell me a little bit more about that. Was that something that the passion grew from, like, a love that you had personally, or how did that start out?
So that started out as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I've been making candles for like 6, 7 years now. That was
Mm-hmm.
one of my very first hobbies that I picked up on and learned, and like over the years I kind of perfected. When I started the company was like when the shutdowns lifted, and
Mm-hmm.
I was already laid off from both of my jobs. I had 3 jobs back then, or I was Instacarting and I had 2 other jobs, and I got laid off from both of them. So when the shutdowns lifted, I was like, well, what are we going to do? So I started taking the opportunity of like offloading the candles that I've like built up and made over the course of all of these months. I had nothing to do, and that's is what started it. I did a pop-up and I sold candles and I got good reviews, and I was like, well, let me try it again. And
Mm-hmm.
I tried it again and I sold candles and I got good reviews, and I said, let me try it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept trying again, and I am here still trying again.
At this point, you can't call it trying. You're just doing the damn thing. You're doing it now. It's not trying anymore. You're doing it. That's
I am. Yeah,
awesome.
it's cool.
Congratulations.
I've done really, really, really well, like surprised myself from what I've done and how professional I put this together. I have like new products this year. This is my anniversary month, so I'm going to be doing
Oh,
a sale for the candles as well. And
awesome.
my hair anniversary month is coming up in June, so I'm going to be doing some sales and some specials for hair as well.
That's awesome. Look at that. It is a good month for you.
It is. It's usually not, because I will say it's Women's Empowerment Month. So I have to shout out my mother, who passed March 15th. Her birthday is also March 30th. That's my
Mm.
heart, my rock. My grandmother passed 11 years ago, but her birthday was yesterday. So I have to shout out the women that
Yes.
keep me going and who keep me inspired and who send me the messages.
Mm. Right. Wow. Well, I'm really happy to hear that you take what could be otherwise a sad, and I'm not saying there's no more emotion linked to it or anything. It's definitely, but and just turning it into an empowerment thing, just like you said, it's Women's Empowerment Month, and I'm sure that they are both very proud of what you're doing during this month and the push that you're making, and the fact that this is just the beginning. You're over here talking about you're trying. No, you're doing it.
I like to stay humble. I like to stay humble because I don't ever want to forget what it was, because it was very dark at one point, and it's a choice for me to be here and be present and to continue. That's why I say try, because every day it is a try, and for me to continue because I've went through a lot and I've lost a lot. And so for me to be here as successful as I am and thriving on my own, it's a blessing, and I always need to remember that.
I see. Wow. That's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your transparency. A lot of people would just kind of be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, happy March." But like nice to hear. That's a beautiful driving force and a passion. And like I said, I'm sure they're proud of what you're doing.
Thank you. It's a
Yeah.
part of the journey.
Mm-hmm. Well, what would you say is your favorite scent of your Pretty Peacock candles?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite, though, is cocoa butter cashmere. It
Mm.
smells so good. It smells like cocoa butter, sandalwood, notes
Mm.
of jasmine, a little bit vanilla. It's just an amazing fragrance. It's one of my top sellers, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Always sold out. Always, always. Probably another one would be strawberry champagne because it's fruity, cute,
Yeah.
it's classy, it smells great for a good little date night or something.
Yes. You hear that, Drew? You hear that, Drew? Welcome in. We are talking candles from Pretty Peacock. This is Chelsea's anniversary month. So some specials are going to be coming up, and we're talking about her favorite scents right now. And I'm just like, I want all these. So pink champagne or strawberry champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those two are my favorites. My favorites.
And I think I saw, was it the lavender sage? Do you put like physical, like dried herbs and things into the? Tell me about some of your infusions and such.
Lavender and sage is a literal infusion on lavender and sage, and there are real lavender buds on top. It's a part of the aromatherapy line. I'm going to definitely kind of play on that a little bit more this year. That was just one of my first candles that I decided to play with, but that's definitely a good seller too. People love lavender.
Yeah, I definitely, I love lavender. I was working for a company that made like lavender lemonade. That was our signature drink when I was doing events. And at first I just thought it was really weird and I wouldn't taste it, but when I did, I was just like the smell, the taste, it's just, and even like the healing property, like lavender is that.
Yeah. I gotta try that. That sounds good.
It's really, really good. Drew said that strawberry champagne smells good AF. Indeed.
No, for sure.
Awesome. Well, we're coming down to the end of our time. I feel like 30 minutes always goes by really, really fast. Like it goes by really fast every time. But is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you want to share? Or do you want to give us a little sneak peek of, maybe a new scent you might have coming out? Or
No.
Look, she said I gotta keep the exclusives. No.
I already gave you a little tip.
I already gave
you a little tip. Y'all just gotta stay tuned. Follow my Instagram page, Shop Pretty Peacock, for the sales. Follow my hair page, Beauty by Chels, for the secret drop that I'm telling you.
The secret drop.
The secret drop.
Oh, I even winked the wrong eye. Go ahead.
No, I got some things for all the people. Loose hair, locked hair, candle lovers. Body scents.
All the good stuff. All the good stuff. Right, and it leads into what we were talking about with the self-care as well. Taking some time to self, lighting a candle, getting the scents going, so
taking you a nice bath, just sitting there and unwinding. That's what it's about. You gotta take care of yourself.
Phone off for a little bit. Give yourself 30 minutes at least, right?
At least, let's pick up a book. That's what I want to mainly promote as well. Let's start picking up books and reading and really take care of our minds, because a lot of us are doing self-care and outer work, and that's great. You look great. But what about our minds?
Yes.
Put that mind to work. Let's educate ourselves more. Let's educate our children. Let's expand our minds. Let's do different things. It's 2022, people.
It really is. March
2022. Ain't the year just going by?
It's just going.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Really, it's running. It's really going. Now I have to go back a little bit. Books. What is on your list? Your must-read list, or something that you're reading right now, or a book that you would recommend? I'm like A, B, C, or D, or a book that you would like to recommend to us today.
Okay, so I read this book a couple weeks ago, and it's actually my second time reading the book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? I forgot who the author is, but that is a great book about progressing with life, basically. There's also a sequel called Out of the Maze, And if you read the first book, you have to read the second book.
Right.
Who Moved My Cheese Out of the Maze is a great, great book. I've been working my way through the 48 Laws of Power for like 2 years now. and I'm honestly going to tell you, I'm only on the 4th power.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's better than being on 0 power.
Is it?
You know, you got a little bit of battery, you know? You got some.
I got a little bit more, but it's a good book. It's very insightful. That's definitely a good book. I don't know. I have lots of books like in my library. I haven't read books on my phone that I like to just kind of skim through and like bounce around. Mm-hmm. I used to read one book in one setting, but now I kind of like to bounce around, so I never really finish them nowadays.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I have an issue with that. Even when I was younger, I used to read like 2 books at a time because I like to have the 2 different, you know, and keep track of it then. And now I'll start a book and then I'll start another one. And then while I'm reading that one, I might start one more. So then I have 3. But then I'll go back to the first book and I'm like, maybe I should refresh myself. And then I kind of get in a loop.
Yeah.
But what I did was I tried to get some like smaller books that I can read a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. That way that I could build the momentum up. And, you know, at the end of the day, I know I'm just making it more difficult. I could just pick up the book and read it and, you know, then move to the next one. But one that I like is The Power of Now is a really good book.
Yes, I've been meaning to get that one.
Yeah. I have not finished it. I have not sat down and finished it from start to finish, but it's another one that I have and it's so funny especially because that book is about being present and such. Yeah. And the power of this present moment, but I can't take the moment to sit down and just read it. So that's a whole thing, but I'm going to finish that. But yeah, that's one that I like. And what was another one? The Power. We just all about power today, but The Power of Your Subconscious Mind as well.
Okay, that's a good one too. I've read like a couple pages of that one. That's one I need to sit down and just finish.
Right. I was thinking of starting like a book club because I thought that would help hold myself accountable and help for all the questions. Because I'm one of those people that like after a movie, I'm like, okay, did you notice this or this and this and that? I have my list.
You should. I join for sure.
Yes, I will keep you posted. You know, it's kind of like on my list of creative ideas that I'm going to do one day. So maybe I'll move it to the top because Chelsea will join the book club. Awesome. Well, thank you again for taking the time to come on and chat with me. It's been wonderful getting to know a little bit more about your journey and where you're at right now. And I'm excited to see where this anniversary month goes for you.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God. And before you log off, if you can tell us where we can find you, your handles and such.
Okay, so my hair handle is Beauty by Chels. I'm at a New You Salon in Northeast Portland. You can DM me for any questions. My booking link is in the bio of my page. My candles my Instagram is Shop Pretty Peacock. You can order things and purchase off of my website as well at smellprettypeacock.com. And yeah, stay tuned in the next couple of days for some announcements and some giveaways.
Oh, see, I knew we were going to get a little something extra. I knew it. You know, like, have you seen that Denzel Washington thing? He's interviewing someone. He's like, I'm leaving with something. I was like, come on, drop a little.
All right, awesome. I fell for it.
Well, no, we really appreciate it. Again, I appreciate your time today, and again, I'm looking forward to it. Especially, I know I'm going to order some candles. I'm just have to try and figure out if it is going to be the pumpkin apple butter, the lavender sage, the Nag Champa. I was just like, hold on, too many options. Well, thank you again, Chelsea. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Alrighty, everybody. That was an interview with a stylist with Miss Chelsea, who is located at a New You Salon, Northeast Portland. Okay. It's Wednesday. We know that. It's WOHM Wednesday. But tomorrow is Thesis Thursday. We're just keeping this week going with a nice little flow. So make sure you pull up to Kelly's Olympian. We have a wonderful lineup. I'm going to make sure I don't miss any names, okay? Okay, we have Marquis. We have Roulette De La Ghetto, Refugio Raps, Alana Rich, and of course our resident DJ Verbs. Make sure you slide through. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for We Out Here Wednesdays. Have a great rest of your day.